registered interests in the Commons Register. I don't intend to speak very long because I know, Mr Speaker, many members will wish to get on to this afternoon's important debate, but I do think that the bill being proposed by the Right Honourable Member, indeed my Right Honourable friend, shouldn't pass by without some scrutiny. The Honourable Gentleman has been tireless in his campaigning to reduce the number of people who smoke and indeed reduce the harm caused by smoking, and I applaud him and I applaud all others for their commitment to such a good cause. But I do worry, Mr Speaker, that the bill misses the point and actually doubles up what is already going to be done under the European directive that already applies to the whole of the United Kingdom, and indeed a European directive that effectively ceased the manufacturing of tobacco products in the United Kingdom. Ever since the introduction of the EU's Tobacco Products Directive, tobacco companies have been required by law to provide the government with all of their sales data and market research. E-cigarette manufacturers have to submit the same information also, and indeed they are now a significant employer in the United Kingdom. Clearly, this is only right and proper that information should be provided, and the kind of thing we should keep in law after we finally win our independence from Brussels. The sorts of tax changes and tax issues which the Honourable Member raised are not actually mentioned, as far as I know, in the bill and are matters really for the Treasury. The directive also requires, the European directive also requires that from this May and from every year onwards, all tobacco products, pack by pack, will be tracked across the European Union from factory to the precise retailer. Now, that, of course, is to prevent a lot of smuggling and crime. That's an incredibly important aspect, but it is important data which is now and from May will be available. The database will give the government exact data about what products are where in the supply chain. So there is just no need for the Right Honourable Gentleman's bill to be introduced, Mr Speaker. The government already has and soon will have all of the data that he is suggesting, and indeed much more data will actually be available. The current European directive goes even further, and when it comes into effect in the United Kingdom, it will actually surpass the requirements that the Honourable Gentleman has brought before the House. We know that vaping is 95% less harmful than smoking. There are already 3 million people in the United Kingdom who vape. More than half of them have given up smoking completely, and all without a penny of taxpayers' money. This is the free market solving a problem that previous government campaigns actually failed to solve, and we should actually be applauding that. In fact, Mr Speaker, as a member of the All-Parliamentary Group on Vaping, I am pleased to welcome the House to the month of April, a month to celebrate the positive switch to vaping that smokers can actually make. The campaign is backed by businesses, both tobacco companies and independent e-cigarette businesses, and by consumers and by retailers. Again, I stress, these are manufactured in the United Kingdom, keep people in employment in the United Kingdom, who pay taxes in the United Kingdom, and therefore are incredibly important. I think that if the Honourable Gentleman really wants to stop more people from smoking, as I do, he needs to get behind vaping and work to tell more smokers about the difference and improvement that it can make to their lives and their health, and about 95% reduction in harm compared to smoking. Far too many smokers have never even tried vaping, and far too many of them wrongly think that it is just as bad as smoking. As the Science and Technology Committee in this House was being told just last year, we need to do more to set these people straight. So, Mr Speaker, I don't want to divide the House on this, and the Honourable Gentleman deserves our respect for his years of campaigning to reduce smoking, but the Government already has all of the information that it needs, and this bill that the Honourable Gentleman is proposing is already out of date. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Thank you. Order. The question is that the Honourable Member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Mr Alex Cunningham, Sir Kevin Barron, Mr Ian Mears, Dr Philippa Whitford, Mr Norman Lamb, Ms Caroline Lucas and myself, Mr Speaker.
Mr Bob Blackman.
Very. Tobacco Companies Transparency Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday the 12th of April.
Friday the 12th of April. Thank you. We come now to the intended debate on a number of motions, specifically I think 2, 3, 4 and 5, so there are 4 of them. I suggest that with the leave of the House, we will debate motions 2, 3 and 4 on sanctions and number 5 on exiting the European Union bracket sanctions together to move the first of the motions in what will be a debate on all 4. I call the Minister of State, Sir Alan Duncan.
Thank you.